Let's go ahead, make our way over to our mat. So we're going to start on our belly today. And actually, before we come to our belly, we're going to actually start in child's pose, or not child's pose, in hero's pose. And I'm going to have you bring your blanket if you do have one, and just bring it right on top of the calves. So we're going to start this way, but I would recommend moving to the back edge of your mat because we are going to come to our bellies in just a few moments. But we're going to start seated here. If for any reason the seated position, sitting in hero, is not for you, go ahead and find an easy cross position. So let's just sit nice and tall here. So let's start to feel the seat bones kind of root in at the heels. And always know you have the option to also bring a block between your calves to sit on the block, or even two blocks to give you some height. So you can also do that. So let's just start to breathe in. Let's draw our shoulders up around our ears. And then exhale, let the shoulders drift down and back. So now just let the hands perhaps rest on the thighs, either with the palms down, closed, grounding you into the space, or perhaps you wish to be a little bit more open today. So you can, if you wish to be open, just kind of turn the palms upward, opening you up to receive. And now while we're sitting tall, just feel your head, heart, and hips align here. And just start to settle into this space. Start to let go. And start to breathe. Or to notice your breath, really. Just start to observe that breath. And as you begin to settle into this space and welcome all parts of you that are showing up this morning, just feel yourself starting to let go a little bit more. Feel the weight go through the legs as the hips soften down, as you feel the weight of the legs on the calves, the shins, and the feet. And now for these next few breaths before we come to our belly, let's just start to breathe in our heart's intention for this day that we are moving into. Our desire for this class that we are moving into. And how we wish to be today. Every day is different. Every day is a new arrival, a new beginning. So each day we get quiet and still, and we proclaim what we are calling forth in this day. So as you're breathing in, imagine you're breathing that in through the heart center. So let's slowly begin to bring our hands to our heart center so that that wisdom is planted as well in our hands, and just begin to feel the heart beating beneath your hands. As you feel that breath moving in and out. And just feel as if that intention is moving into your hands, into the fingers. And with every breath you take, just feel it just spreading throughout your temple. As the breath grows a little bit slower, a little bit deeper, and more relaxed. As you begin to direct the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And now that we've prepared our heart, let's start to plant that into the earth beneath us so that we can begin to invite that in throughout our entire practice, that it is always with us, beneath us, around us, surrounding us. So let's slowly settle our hands down to our thighs. We're going to slowly walk our hands forward in space, and we're going to begin to walk forward into that kneeling plank. So as you're in your kneeling plank, Maybe you have a dog underneath you as well. We're going to slowly soften down to the earth. So let the elbows begin to bend as you hug them in towards your body. And just let the earth hold you now. So as your heart is surrendering down to the earth, let's just start to find a nice, comfortable position on our belly. So perhaps rest your head one direction, or perhaps pillow your hands together and rest your forehead upon them. So now as you're breathing in, imagine that you're planting the seeds of your intention, your desire, your way of being today. Imagine as you're breathing in and exhaling, imagine that you're planting those seeds from your heart into the earth beneath you. Imagine you're sending those seeds that were planted in your hands into the earth beneath you. And this is the fruit that you wish to step into today, that you wish to call forth. So as you rest there and you allow the earth to hold you and support you, and now you feel even that breath maybe a little bit more fuller and deeper with the belly and the heart pressing into the earth. So for St. Patrick's Day today, thinking about how after a rain shower, the sun shines brighter and we are filled with that optimism and renewal. So I invite you to begin to consider, what is really that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? And in these early days of spring, where sometimes it feels still just dark and just gloomy out there right now, can you find the pot of gold in each and every day? Is it the beauty of the sunrise or sunset? Does it lie in the gentle smile of a friend or a loved one? Or perhaps just a warm greeting from someone you don't even know? There's always something to be grateful for, and to find that pot of gold in each and every day, because it's there if you look. But if you look for the limitation, you will find that as well. So here we focus on the abundance as we remember that, as we breathe in all of nature around us. And I invite you to even consider now, what can you do to create a pot of gold for someone else today? And now let's slowly begin to bring our forehead down to the earth. So gently tuck your chin, let your forehead come down. And now let's slowly just bring out that right arm, reach it out to the half of the letter T. We're gonna just gently flex the left foot and bring the left hand under the shoulder. Let's slowly peel ourselves open, just gently opening that right shoulder. Just let your head rest on the earth if you can. And then inhale, let the belly rest again. Draw the right hand in as you lengthen out the left arm to the side. Now flex the right toes and gently peel yourself off the mat, opening that left shoulder. And now inhale, let's slowly begin to bring both elbows under our shoulders. So slowly take your time. Let's slowly just tuck our chin and begin to look down at that navel center. Begin to look down at the navel. And now inhale, slowly begin to peel the gaze forward, look forward in space. And now exhale, slowly look down again at the navel. Feel it reaching for the spine. And then exhale, looking forward. So we're just starting with that nice, easy, natural cat-cow through the upper cervical back and thoracic spine. So just begin to flow with your breath through that, gently, slowly, softly. And with each moment, even here, how can you find that pot of gold in between, in the poses, in between the poses? How can you find that blessing? And last time. And now let's slowly release the gaze. Look down at the earth. Open the arms back up. So bring the hands under the shoulders. Come on down to your belly again. So now let's start to strengthen that lower back. So let's bring our hands alongside of our legs. Let's start to inhale. Reach the fingertips down the thighs as you inhale, lifting up the chest and the head. Keeping the gaze more neutral with the chin tucked, looking down at the earth. Feel the low back muscles here working. And then exhale, slowly soften, tuck the chin, lower the forehead down. Let's do that a few more times as we inhale. Start to reach down the thighs again. And I will give you the option if you want on the next time. Let's exhale, come on down. On the next time, if you'd like to add on with the legs, slowly lift the legs. If that's too much on the low back, keep the feet on the earth. Just keep the fingertips reaching down the thighs. And exhale. Let's just do that 2 more times. Inhale, rises up. Feel the strength. Exhale, soften. 1 more time, inhale. Feel free to fly with the legs added on. Be like Superwoman flying through the sky. Exhale, soften. Let the shoulders soften to the earth. And now slowly bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press ourselves up into our table position. So let's draw the elbows in. Inhale, rise up into table. Let's remove the blanket if we have that on our feet and the calves. And let's glue in those hands. Bring the knees right underneath those hips. And let's just move a little bit more through the back body. So now soften the belly down, lift the head, heart, and hips into your cow pose. And now exhale, press through the palms, lift the back high to the sky, lower the head and hips to the earth. So let's add on with our feet as we inhale, soften the belly, flex the feet, pressing through the toes as well here. And then exhale, release the toes back in space, round the back up to the sky. So just flow your time, your breath here. And just noticing how the feet are feeling today. Noticing how the back is feeling today. And just flow through that 1 more time. And now let's get a little bit more into our core. So we're going to just cross our feet at our ankles and slowly sink back so that we're finding a seated position. So let's bring our legs out in front here. And we're going to find our boat pose. So first we're going to sit tall. So sit, align your shoulders right over those hips. Knees are bent. Hands are right on the back of those thighs. So now while keeping that tall, beautiful spine, we're going to slowly just lean back. So now keeping that length through the spine, navel reaching to the spine. Pause here and then let's slowly add on 1 leg at a time. So if that feels okay with the right leg lifting, now lift the left leg. Pause here. So the moment your back starts to round, I want you to come down. So keep that tall, beautiful spine. Perhaps you remove your hands into your boat pose. So breathe here, feel the strength, feel the stability. So we're working the core all the way around. Breathe here. Perhaps maybe lengthen 1 leg at a time. Add on. Let's exhale, soften the feet down to the earth. Slowly let the knees soften open into butterfly pose. And let's sit tall here. Breathe for this breath. And now while we're sitting tall, we're going to stay here in our butterfly pose. Let's slowly release our hands outside of the hips. Let's inhale, rise up with the arms. And let's fold at the left arm, bending at the elbow. Bring the right hand on top of that elbow. So starting to release that tricep. So keep breathing here. If this is not accessible for you, you can always bring that right hand in front of the tricep, just pushing, holding that tricep in place. So you can stay sitting right here, sitting tall, or perhaps you gently lean over to the right. So if you need to, also feel free to bring that blanket underneath the hips because sometimes we need a little bit more height. So let's soften that top arm down. If you're leaning to the right, soften the right arm down and let's just lean maybe a little bit more over. And now inhale, rise up, reach both hands high to the sky. And now let's fold at that right elbow. Bring the back palm to the low or to the in between the shoulder blades. Let's bring that left hand on top of that elbow or in front of that tricep. While sitting tall, breathe in to that tricep here. So feel free, you can stay right here, or maybe perhaps you gently lean over to the left. Feel free to drop that top arm down at any point. So now exhale, slowly soften that left hand down to the earth and maybe lean a little bit further over. And as you're leaning a little bit further over, just slowly begin to glue that right hip even more down to the earth. And now take another breath here. And then inhale, rise up, reach both hands high. Exhale, soften the hands down in front of you. And now let's forward fold. Slowly walk forward, hinge forward. Let the back body round, let the head soften down. So just breathe here as you send that breath through those inner thighs. Feel the soles of the feet as they touch one another. Feel the connection of the toes. And now let's take our inhale, rise back up, walk back up. Let's slowly draw the knees together. And then we're gonna once again cross the feet at the ankles and press ourselves back forward, back to our table pose. So now let's slowly begin to lengthen that right leg back in space. So now send those right toes into the earth. And now just a gentle pulse forward and back just for a moment. Feel the length in the back of the leg. And now begin to still the movement, shoulders aligning over the wrist again. Draw the right foot over to the left edge of the mat. And then we're gonna slowly inhale, rise up with that right arm and slowly peel yourself open as you reach that hand high to the sky and let the right foot find the earth here. And now exhale, soften that right arm down. Slowly return the body back to neutral. Let's slowly draw the right toes back, align with the hip. Press the right toes into the earth and now hover that left knee. Breathe here. Feel that strength, feel that stability. So we're gonna move into our downward dog, three-legged dog. If you can, slowly send that left heel high. And then exhale, draw the knee to the nose, pause, breathe, shoulders stack over the wrists. Inhale, send the heel high to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. 2 more times. Draw the knee in. 1 last time, draw the heel up. And then draw the knee in. Slowly draw the heel back high. Slowly come back into your one-legged plank, knee hovering if you can. Lower that left knee down if you need to. And now slowly soften it down. So now let's really begin to lift. Feel the lift through the right heel, lifting the right heel. Now add on with that left arm. Slowly hover the left hand and then reach that left hand forward. So now feel that stretch from the heel to the fingertips. And now let's expand that space and create a circle behind us. Slowly soften the foot. Slowly bend the knee, reach back for that foot. Maybe it's just an energetic reach, or perhaps you can hold that foot. Feel the front of that thigh expanding as that hip flexor is opening. And now let's release the foot, slowly soften the gaze, look down at the earth, come back to your balancing table. Slowly lower down the left hand and then the right knee. Pause. And now let's just inhale back up again with that right hand. Inhale, rise up. And now thread the left or the right hand under the left arm. And slowly let the head come down to the right side of your head. Keep those hips stacked high above the knees. And let's start to walk that left arm forward in space if that feels right for you. So now let's take that, just bring in the belly to the spine. So inhale, just draw the belly in, draw the low ribs in. So you feel the length in the spine. And now slowly walk your left hand back under the shoulder. Let's inhale, rise up, back to pose. And now let's move the other side. So make any adjustments. And then let's send the left toes back, pressing into the toes, into the ball mound. And now let's just pulse forward and back. Just start to feel some length through the hamstring. One more time. And then find your neutral alignment, shoulders stacked over the wrists. Let's draw the left toes to the right corner edge. Now we're going to start to peel open that left hand, let the right foot kickstand open as the left foot finds the earth. So can you feel your shoulders stacking? Start to feel a little bit more space in that hip. And then exhale, soften, lower the left hand down. Let's return the body to neutral and then draw the toes back. So now the toes are aligned with the hip. Glue the palms into the earth, spread the fingers wide. Press through, more through the index finger side of the palm and lift up that right knee. Hover the knee right above the earth. So we're working that core today, strengthening us for the summer of what is to come. We're preparing in the spring, just like we are with our crops. So just like before, we're going to exhale, send the heel up to the sky, three-legged dog. Inhale, draw the knee to the nose, shoulder stack over the wrist. Exhale, send the heel high. Inhale, draw the knee to the nose. Exhale, heel high. Last 2 times, just drawing the knee to the nose. Last time, knee to nose. Exhale, send the heel high. And then let's come into our three-legged plank. Slowly shift the weight forward and now hover the right knee above the earth. Pause, breathe. And now slowly exhale, soften the right knee down. So now let's slowly begin to lift the left heel. Align it with the hip by flexing through the heel. So now add on by adding on with the right hand. Hover, breathe, feel the navel reach to the spine. And now send the fingertips forward. Create that straight line of energy from the heel to the fingertips. Keep the gaze neutral, looking down at the earth. So now let's start to soften that foot. Start to bend the knee. Reach that right hand back for the left foot, perhaps energetically or really reaching and touching and holding. Start to expand the space even more through the front of the thigh, the hip flexor. And keep that beautiful breath. Your companion on our journey. Those gentle love notes to yourself as you're breathing slowly and deeply. So now let's slowly release the foot, send the heel back, send the fingertips forward. And then exhale, lower the hand and then the knee. Pause, table pose. Let's inhale, rise up with the left arm. And now thread the left arm under the right, resting on the left side of your face. Hips are high. And now walk your right hand forward, reaching to the front edge of the mat. So just like before, feel the low ribs pulling in and up. Feel the navel reaching for the spine. So now let's begin to walk that right hand back under the shoulder. Inhale, rise up. Bring the left hand there underneath the shoulder. So now let's slowly exhale, sink back into child's pose, pause. Let's give those shoulders a break. Circle those arms around and down by your feet. Bring the hands alongside of the feet with the palms facing up. And now invite those shoulders to soften towards the earth. Feel the back of your heart opening here as you receive the wisdom from the sky above you. And now let's just leave any thoughts that continue to arise or that have come up. Just leave them at the ground. So slowly move your forehead side to side as if you're just releasing any of those thoughts so that you can find the gold in every moment. And now just begin to still the head. Let's slowly circle those arms back forward in space. Let's slowly take our inhale and we're going to come up into our downward dog or puppy dog pose. So whichever is best for you this morning. And just start to march, pedal out those feet and just shake out the head and the neck. So just walk that dog and let go of any holding that's still holding in the body. Let it go. Where's the pot of gold in this pose for you? So if you're ever noticing anything in the wrists, always know you have the options to neutralize those wrists even just a little bit by bringing maybe a washcloth, 2 washcloths, one under each palm. So you bring it under the heel of the palm so that the flexion on the wrist isn't as deep. So now let's slowly begin to soften the heels towards the earth. And now let's slowly begin to flip the toes to the right, soften the knees into and sink your hips back. And we're just, as we do our twisty dog, inhale, center, exhale, turn the toes left, soften the knees, send the hips down. Inhale, let's do that 2 more times each side. Take your time, your breath. And then finish up that last side and return back to the front. Let's inhale, rise up with that right heel. And then we're going to step that right foot between our hands. So take your time, step the foot between the hands. And perhaps you wish to grab your blocks here or not. Let's pause here. And as we exhale, we're going to sink our hips back. So slowly exhale, slowly, kindly, gently. And just extend the front leg. Find the space where it feels good for you right now, where it's not overextending that hamstring. So now feel that gentle hugging in of your hips. So now inhale, slowly soften back to your low lunge. Let's bring the left hand to the inside edge of that right foot. We're going to inhale, rise up with that right arm. And either keep the right arm there or bend at the elbow, soften the back palm to the low back, side body. And now you can either keep looking down at the earth or to the side, or even looking back over your shoulder. So now while we're here, we're going to soften that rear knee down, staying revolved. So slowly bend that rear knee. Slowly release the foot back in space. And now feel a little more space being created through the front of that hip flexor. And now let's slowly unwind with that right arm. Slowly soften it down outside of the right foot. Move the left hand back under the shoulder and now exhale, sink your hips back. Maybe create a little bit of space between those toes as you're sinking back in space. Just lift those front toes, spread them wide. And then we'll start to plant the toes in as we inhale, shifting back forward. So let's pause here for this moment. Either keep the hands on the earth or maybe start to come up a little bit higher. Take your time. And now let's keep our hands on that right thigh or on the block outside of the right thigh. Inhale, rise up with the left arm. And just a gentle lean over to the right. Very soft, very gentle. And now let's inhale, come back. Exhale, soften the hands down. And now let's slowly flex the rear foot, lift the rear knee, and slowly pivot the body into your straddle forward fold. So pivot both feet so they're parallel with the short edge of the mat and just begin to soften the crown of the head towards the earth. So for this morning, I want to try to find the earth with the crown of our head. So you may need 1 or 2 blocks, but grab your blocks. Maybe it's even a blanket that you're folding. So let your head find the earth. So maybe it's a block, 2 blocks, maybe it's a block and a blanket. And now let the head, the crown of the head, find the earth. So bring your hands underneath you with the elbows pointing back in space. So now breathe in those inner thighs as you feel the weight through the outer edges of the feet and the heels. So you can keep your hands underneath you, aligned with the feet in the center of the body, or you can reach your hands for the outer edges of the calves, the ankles, the feet. And just breathe here as you send the space throughout those inner thighs. So now let's slowly release if we're holding on to the ankles, calves, or feet. Bring the hands underneath you. Let's remove the block or blanket from under the head. And let's slowly walk our hands under our heart. And let's come to our active back extension. So let's come up to our fingertips. Nice flat back, navel reaching for the spine. So now let's bring the right hand under the heart. Slowly inhale up with the left hand. Allow the hips to flow with you. And now exhale, slowly soften, return the left hand down. And now let's bring the left hand underneath our heart, hand or fist. Inhale up with the right hand, let the hips shift with you. Exhale, soften down. Let's add on. So let's slowly inhale, active back extension, come up to the fingertips. So now inhale, reach the arms out to the letter T. Really feel the core engaging. Now exhale, soften the right hand down, left arm up. And let's bend at the left arm, bring the back palm to the low back. Slowly reach the left palm out to the side. Reach it out to the half letter T. Inhale, reach the right hand out to the half letter T. Exhale, left hand comes down, right hand reaches high, revolve. Now soften the right hand to the low back, bending at the elbow. And now let's release that right hand. Slowly bring it out to the half a letter T, returning the spine to neutral. Inhale, let's reach that right arm to the half letter T. And then on our next inhale, come all the way up, reach the hands to the corner heavens of the sky like you're a star, reach high. And now exhale, soften the hands down to the letter T. Let's slowly flex the right foot and turn the toes forward. So now sink forward, bending through the knee. Warrior 2 here. So let's send that energy out those front fingers. And now we're going to come into our reverse warrior. So let's soften the rear hand down. Inhale, rise up, keep that bend through the front knee. So we're going to pause here. And now turn that right palm to the sky. Press the palm up. And now let's take that left hand, wrap the thumb and index finger around that right wrist. press the right palm up, and now gentle traction back, reaching the right palm back in space as you look either behind or in front of your arm, looking back towards that rear pinky toe. So can you find that pot of gold even here as you create that space? And now let's slowly release the gaze, slowly soften those arms, come back to your warrior two. Pause, breathe, soften the shoulders down. Inhale, reverse triangle, drop the rear hand down. Inhale, extend the front leg, reach the front hand high. Create that star with your hand again. And now slowly exhale, soften, warrior two. Last time here on this side, reach back out to the letter T. So now we're gonna come down and cartwheel down with those hands, framing that front foot. Use the blocks if you need them. And now let's slowly exhale, sink the hips back, lengthen out the front leg, head folds down towards the knee or shin. And now inhale, gently guide your knee back forward, slowly pivot the rear foot. Pause here, and then we're gonna take our step forward, coming into our forward fold. So let's press off through the left toes, bending the knee, step forward into your forward fold. So now let's hang out here and just begin to observe. How does that right side feel compared to the left? Just to gather that information. I'm guessing that left side feels a little bit tighter. So just allow gravity to work. Just pause here. And now begin to still the movement. Begin to glue the hands down. We're gonna step that right foot back, pause. Really glue the palms in, and then step the left foot back into your downward dog. So now we're gonna move through to the other side. So plug those shoulders in and back, find that inverted V. Feel the navel reach for the spine, feel the hips lift high. So now let's inhale up with that left heel to the sky, three-legged dog. And then inhale, step the foot between the hands, taking your time, pause here. Start to create that space through the front of that right hip flexor. So now as we exhale, slowly sink your hips back, lengthen out that front leg, head folds down. Feel both legs active as the hips hug in. And then allow that inhale to bring you back forward, slowly guiding yourself forward. Inhale, gently, kindly. And let's bring that right hand now on the inner edge of that left foot. Start to bring that left hand high to the sky. Feel the shoulders stacking. So breathe here as you still feel that active energy through that right leg out through the heel. So now let's soften, bend at that left elbow. Bring the back palm to the low back, side body, wherever it goes to. And you choose where your gaze is gonna go. Down at the floor, to the side wall, or perhaps over that shoulder. And just honor what this side of your body is telling you. So let's sink a little bit deeper, slowly soften that rear knee down. Take your time, release that rear foot. So maybe we create just a little more space now. Finding the gold even here. So now let's slowly unwind that left arm, lower the left hand outside of the foot. So now let's sink our hips back again. Slowly exhale, sink the hips back, lengthen out the front leg, head folding down, hips hugging in. And just like you did on the other side, begin to spread those toes far, deep, wide. Feel free to keep as much micro bend through that knee as you need. let's take our inhale, slowly inhale back forward. Let's slowly come up onto our fingertips. Remember, keep your block nearby if you need it for the outer edge of that left thigh. So keep that nearby. Inhale, come up maybe a little bit higher onto the thigh. So now we're gonna inhale up with that right arm. So you can stay right here or gently lean to the left, just nice and soft and gentle. Keep that beautiful breath. That left hand can stay there or on the block outside of the thigh. You find what feels best for you. And now slowly inhale, come back to the top. Exhale, lower the hands down. Let's slowly begin to lift up that rear knee. So flex the rear foot, lift the knee. We're gonna take our yogi stroll back into our straddle position. Walk your hands to the long edge of the mat. Turn both feet parallel with the side edge of the mat. And once again, let's just let the earth hold the crown of the head. So bring support underneath the head again. Draw the hands underneath you, elbows pointing back in space. And this time, if you wish, you can walk the hands through the legs, reaching the fingertips back in space. Allow the crown of your head to receive the wisdom from the earth beneath you, especially with the seeds that you planted deep into the earth beneath you. Finding that bliss, that pot of gold here. And now let's slowly release the hands. Bring the hands back under the heart. Let's slowly inhale. Remove the blocker support underneath the head and bring the hands underneath the heart. And now let's slowly soften that left knee. Let's bring the right hand under the heart and inhale up with that left arm. And now exhale, lower the left hand down, extend the leg, bring the left hand under the heart, soften that right knee, and then inhale, rise up with that right arm. Exhale, soften, come back to the earth, and let's add on. So now walk your hands over to the left foot as you soften into that lateral side lunge. Breathe along that inner right thigh. And now we're going to keep that right hand in front of us, in front of the left foot, and inhale up with that left arm. And now exhale down with that left arm. Inhale, come back to the center. Pause, breathe, soften. Just breathe here once between the sides. And now inhale, lengthen out the arms. Extend the spine. Slowly sink over towards the left side. Bend the knee. Walk your hands to the left foot, towards the left foot. So now that left hand, towards the right foot. I said the wrong side. I apologize. So sink over towards the right side now. And now we're going to glue that left hand kind of diagonally from that right foot on the inseam of the right foot, but in front of that right foot. And now inhale, rise up with that right arm. Can you feel that inner thigh releasing just a little bit more? And now exhale, soften, come back to the center, slowly lengthen out both legs. So let's now slowly begin to come onto our fingertips. Pause here. Now let's slowly bring our arms out to the letter T. Keep the core engaged, keep the navel to the spine. Inhale, reach high into the star position. Look high. And now exhale, soften the gaze, soften the hands to the letter T. So now let's flex the left foot, turn the left toes forward and soften into warrior two, aligning the head, heart, and hips. So breathe here for this breath. Feel your feet root in, feel the outer edge of that rear foot plant in as that inner arch lifts, activating that rear thigh and lifting that rear kneecap. So now let's soften down that rear hand into reverse warrior. Inhale up with that left hand. Now let's flip the palm, bending at the wrist. So now let's take that left hand and wrap it around that right wrist. I think I did that wrong. Take the right hand, wrap it around the left wrist. Thumb and index finger wrap, and then press the palm high, and then slowly drift back. Maybe the gaze looks in front of the arm, behind the arm, looking back towards the pinky toe. I didn't get that. Oops. I hit my watch. So continue to breathe here as you can find that pot of gold here. And now let's slowly come out of this. Slowly soften the gaze. Slowly release the arms. Slowly come back to your warrior two. Soften the shoulders down. Feel those hips opening. So now let's slowly lengthen out the front leg. Lower that rear hand down. Inhale up with that left hand high to the sky. Create your star with your hand. And really feel yourself root in here. And now let's soften one last time into our warrior two. Slowly soften the arms to the letter T. Slowly soften that front knee. Pause. Align the head, heart, and hips. Finding the gold in this strength, in this warrior. So just like before, we're going to slowly cartwheel down with those hands, framing that front left foot. And now as we exhale, let's lengthen out the front leg, head folds down. And breathe here into this space. And now inhale, slowly soften, rebend the front knee. And now let's pivot the rear toes into our low lunge. Pause here for this moment. And then we're going to slowly step forward. So soften that rear knee, slowly bend it and press yourselves forward, forward fold. Just let the head, body shake out here. Let go. Perhaps wrap the hands on the elbow. Let go even more. So now let's soften the hands to the earth. Let's bring our feet hip distance apart. And we're going to do one final balance pose here. So let's inhale, active back extension. Nice L shape with the body. Keep the navel to the spine. Let's reach those arms to the letter T. Soften the knees and inhale, rise up. Hands float down to the heart. So if you need support, we're going to do some balance work here. So you can even come down to the earth if you'd like. But we're going to go into our dancer's pose. So we're going to really feel both feet planted. Feel the feet planted, glue the toes in, and now feel that lift through the inner arches, inner thighs. All right, so let's shift the weight over to the left side. Perhaps you come up against the wall to help you here. Slowly bend through that right knee. Let's take that right hand and reach for that right foot. So right now, think about the front of the thighs parallel. The knee, that right knee is pointing down towards the earth. So now maybe you reach up to the sky with that left hand. So you can stay right here. This is a great place to be. Or perhaps you wish to add on by slowly, slowly softening, reaching the knee back as the foot pushes into the hand into the foot, and then that left hand reaches forward. So you can just come slightly forward, or you can come to where the chest is coming even closer to the earth. And then you're creating that beautiful circle behind your body, letting you know that life always goes on. So what is your pot of gold here? Breathe into this space. One more full deep breath. Keep the gaze looking in front of you or at the earth, focusing. Inhale slowly. Let the knee come down back to the earth. Slowly release the foot. Slowly let the foot come down. Bring your hands back to the heart. Pause. Close the eyes for just this moment. Feel the feet root back in. And now let's reach that right hand up. Reach the left hand down the thigh. Just reaching, opening up that side body. And now inhale, come back, center. Hands back to the heart. Let's root our feet back in. Feel the inner arches lift, inner thighs activated. Tailbone relaxes down. Now shift the weight over to that right side. Grab the wall if you need it. We're going to slowly bend the left knee, reaching back for the foot or the pants, whatever you can hold on to, or perhaps even a strap. So pause here, thinking about the tops of the thighs parallel with each other, knee pointing down, and then perhaps you reach that right hand high. So you can stay right here. This is a great place to stay. Or perhaps you wish to just start to soften. Slowly begin to lean forward, pushing the foot into the hand into the foot as you reach that right hand forward into your dancer. Or perhaps it's a leprechaun today. One more full, deep breath here. Keeping the knee inside of the body. Let's slowly inhale, come back tall. Slowly release that left foot, let it float down. Come back to the hands at the heart, prayer position. And now inhale, swan dive, forward fold, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, lower the hands down to the earth. And this time we're gonna step back with the left foot and then the right to your downward dog, pause. One final chest opener here. So inhale, forward plank pose. Either come down to your knees and then lower down to the earth, or stay in plank and then chaturanga down. So shift the weight forward, hug the elbows in, lower the chest and then the belly into your maybe mini cobra, elbows under the shoulders, or perhaps you come up even higher with the arms lengthened out. You choose depending on how that back feels. Can you let those glutes soften a little bit? Can you soften those shoulders down? And then exhale, lower all the way down. Hands under the shoulders. Pause. And then inhale, table pose. Press yourselves up. Bring your hands under the shoulders. Let's slowly cross the feet at the ankles again. Slowly sink back. So now we're going to slowly begin to bring that right leg on top. So bring the left leg underneath, right leg on top. So you can either stack at the knees or ankle above the knee. So you choose. And then we're going to slowly inhale, rise up. Now let's soften and bend at that right arm. And now reach that left hand down and behind you, bending at the elbow. Maybe the palms can reach for each other. The fingertips can reach for each other. Or maybe once again, it's just an energetic reach. Breathe here. And now slowly soften, release those arms. Slowly walk the hands forward and then exhale, hinge forward, forward fold, all the way down. And really send the breath through the back of the hips. Let them soften. And now let's take our inhale, slowly rise back up with the head stacking last. So you can just switch your legs, bring the right leg on the bottom, left leg on top, or join me and we're gonna do something fun. Walk your hands forward, flex your feet, press yourselves onto your feet so your legs are still crossed. And then you're gonna do a little circle here so that you switch the cross. So circle your hands back, walk all the way around, and you should end up back forward with the opposite knee on top. So now it should be that left knee on top. If not, just bring it here or stack the ankle above the knee, whichever one feels best for you. Okay, let's sit tall, bring our hands outside of the hips, and then inhale, rise up with both arms. And now soften at that left arm, bend at the elbow. Now soften that right arm down and behind you, bending at the elbow. Reach the fingertips towards each other through those shoulder blades. So it's an energetic reach, or maybe you can actually touch those fingertips. You can use a strap here. I meant to mention that at the beginning of class, but I forgot. So just breathe here. So even if you don't have that strap, imagine it. You can just do that energetic reach. And can you find that gold here? Just take another full deep breath here. And now slowly let the fingertips go. Slowly unwind those arms. Let the hands float down in front of the legs. And then exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. One last time. Breathing through the back of those hips again. Really feel the earth receive you here now and support you here as you soften down. And let's take our next inhale. So take a full deep breath here. Let go. And then on that next inhale, begin to rise back up. Slowly come up. Stack the head last. And now let's uncross the legs one at a time. We're going to just start to bend the knees and make sure if you have your sweatshirt, your socks, your blanket, grab those before you come on down. If you need any other support, grab that. And then lower down using your hands or not. And then let's just draw the knees in and take this last moment to get in your knee circles, your happy baby, whatever you need for this last pose to let your body relax. Start to really let go here. So now we're allowing the back of the heart to receive the seeds that we planted in at the beginning of class. And imagine that it's being watered from the heavens above us, from the skies above us. So now begin to find some stillness, begin to release whatever you're holding onto and move into a nice, comfortable resting position. So whatever that looks like for you. And just invite yourself to let go now. Invite yourself to just rest and receive the fruits from our class today. So now, as you're lying there with the earth holding and supporting you completely, I invite you to imagine that you are lying in a field of grass and shamrocks. And just really let your body relax and get very, very heavy and let go of all doing. And really allow the ground to hold you now. Finding that complete ease. Now beginning to imagine that it starts to rain. And the raindrops are just the right temperature. They're not too cold and not too warm. So just imagine that as the raindrops fall on your body, they help you to relax even more. Softening you with every drop that falls. Now feeling the raindrops falling on your toes and your feet. And feel them relax. Now feel the rain on your legs and let them too relax. Now feel the rain on your hips and your belly. And the rain continues to fall on the arms and on your hands and even on the fingertips. Feel each and every part of your body relax even more deeply now. As the rain falls on your head and your face. And each raindrop washes away your fears or your worries. And just feel your whole body relaxed and calm. Then the rain slowly stops and a colorful rainbow begins to appear in the sky. Seeing the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And imagine following the rainbow until it ends. What do you see? Do you see the green rolling hills? Or perhaps a pot of gold shimmering in the sunlight? Maybe even a leprechaun dancing in the green. Now begin to follow the rainbow back to your resting spot in the grass. And begin to watch the rainbow until the colors slowly fade away. And just enjoy how relaxed and calm your body and your mind and your soul feel. As you rest here, as you are united in this space and in this presence, and let go even more now. Just rest here for the next few moments. All will be quiet and still. And in this moment, begin to imagine that you have found that pot of gold, and that gold is being refined and made into something new. So imagine that gold being poured over and through you, sealing all of those broken spaces and cracks and scars, making you even more beautiful than you can imagine, making you even stronger than you can imagine. So allow it to fill those spaces, to embrace that wholeness and that fullness that is already within you. And in that space of wholeness and fullness, let's start to breathe in deeply to receive that. Taking in another deep, soothing breath, fully receiving the space from our practice today and our intention and desire. Starting to feel that energy rise as you gently move the fingers and toes. Coming back into this moment. Maybe the movement gets a little bigger as you move up through the wrists and ankles. And then when the time is right, just slowly rest on one side of the body, whichever side is calling you today. Take that moment of gratitude on the earth as you thank the earth for the support, as you gently press into the earth to find your way up to seated with that head stacking last. And then just slowly let the fingertips soften to the earth, shoulders drift down and back, heart opens high. So now let's flip the palms to seal ourselves in that space. Slowly draw the palms together overhead. And now slowly soften the hands down, melting down to the heart center. Press the thumbs into the heart and create the rays of sun coming out of your heart center. And now slowly soften the gaze to meet the heart. And now thinking about that pot of gold that we planted deep into your heart. What can you do today to create a pot of gold for someone else? So from my heart to your heart, I'm wishing you guys just an awesome St. Patrick's Day. Together we lift the head, open the eyes, and say namaste. Or the divine in me honors and reflects it to you. I'm giving you guys a big hug.